key players like Victor Semen, of course, of Napoli, and Samuel Chukwueze and Zaidu as well. 3 players who were missing, but it doesn't really perturb Jose Pizarro in his intentions of trying to drive these Super Eagles through as we get the game underway. Nigeria playing in green, of course, with the blue and white colours of the Crocodiles. Lesotho, the visiting team. Alex Iwobi playing a key part in the midfield, of course, looking to try and use his experience, his creative ability. Just stretching the ball and trying to get it out wide. And the little attempt at a 1-2 was bright Osai Samuel just on the charge, and the goalkeeper coming out and doing the business, Kouane. Like to calm things down a little bit, picked up by Bereng, just loses possession. Calmly and carefully done there. Iheanacho, such a fine, formidable front man, and looking to try and get a goal out here today. It's a good cross-pitch ball to pick out Osai Samuel. Here he is pulling the ball back to Iheanacho, who will go running into a pocket of space. It's Boniface who's the big man. He's such a giant. He'll just latch on to absolutely everything that comes his way and try and get himself an important goal for Nigeria. Good work there by another corner. Saying, oh, it's in the back of the net. They've scored here in Nigeria. Lesotho have taken the lead. Quite extraordinary. Unmarked. And look at what it means to these players. This is incredible. Lesotho. And the header. Quite extraordinary. Unmarked from Motembe Makonazi. He can't believe it. I don't think anybody can believe it, especially those Nigerians at the back, including Francis Ozoho. But what a goal that is, and what it means to Lesotho. Just look at him coming through. He ghosted in between the 2 defenders there who didn't really know what was coming. Osai Samuel and Semi Ajayi were left stranded. They were just looking around, charging in on a mission. And Kelechi Iheanacho. There's the delivery into the penalty box. Oh, that's how you do it. What a brilliant goal that is. And what it means to this young man, because that is his first goal for Nigeria. Victor Boniface, the Bayer Leverkusen player, coming up really strong. And oh, that's a big statement that is from Nigeria. They had to score, applying the pressure. And the fans finally get to play their trumpets. Make a bit of noise. Let's have a look at the delivery. Iheanacho. Well, it's Semi Ajayi. He was hidden by that man, Victor Boniface. Moses Simon, is this the last chance saloon for Nigeria? Picked up by Boniface down the left side. Drops the ball in the penalty area from out wide. No one there. And there is the final whistle. What a result for Lesotho. They get their campaign off the ground. They celebrate because they know that just getting a point away to Nigeria is massive. And although it's been a wet afternoon, that is a great result for Lesotho. And they've lost all 3 games previously to Nigeria. Nigeria will not celebrate this, but the final score here for this African qualifier for the FIFA World Cup 2026, Nigeria 1, Lesotho 1.
Do you think this team can qualify for the World Cup? Yes, of course. Where are you getting the confidence? If I'm not confident, I come back at home and I stop my contract. And if I feel that we can do that.
Sporty greetings and welcome. Yeah, I had to trade back to 16th November 2023. I'm sure someone is wondering, why did Austin throw it back to the first game for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers? It was Nigeria hosting Lesotho in Uyo, and that game finished 1-1. Can you believe it? I really wanted to understand how the Super Eagles got into this messy, disgraceful, disturbing, and frustrating World Cup qualifiers. And I traced it back to November 2023, that first game at home to Lesotho. Everything went wrong for Nigeria. Can you even believe it? Lesotho scored first. Semi Ajayi drew level, and it was in good time. And Nigeria at the time couldn't beat a lowly rated Lesotho. Yeah, I don't think that was the sort of introduction I wanted to have for this conversation, but it's so difficult to analyze the Super Eagles and their 2026 World Cup campaign without getting frustrated. It's difficult, very, very difficult. So you saw it for yourself. The approach was wrong. I'm sure they're like, oh, it's Lesotho. Oh, it's the first World Cup qualifier. So what? And for the NFF officials and even Jose Pizarro, they had their mind fixed on the AFCON. Yes, we're so big on competition. So we can win and find a way to get to Abuja, get handshakes and get benefits. No one saw the big picture. If you had told them after that match that this can define your journey, you would have said it's not true. I'll let you listen to Jose Pizarro, the post-match conference, and how he was so sure that they would beat Zimbabwe and get the campaign back on track. He didn't know that the NFF too at the time, they were very unserious. Yes, leadership also contributed to this current situation of the Super Eagles. They just wanted to go to the AFCON. So they didn't even bother themselves, oh, what's there? And then they started changing coaches like a bride that's changing clothes on her wedding day. The NFF, 3 different coaches. Pizarro started that damage and didn't know that he wasn't even going to be around for long to repair his damage. Then they brought Finay the judge. And then at some point, we brought Austin Eguavoen as interim. So 4 different coaches could get Nigeria just 2 wins. How can you do this sort of analysis and you won't lose it? And now people are here saying, Austin, you're losing faith. Austin, why are you saying it's almost impossible? It is what you sow, you reap. Now, out of 8 matches, Nigeria can only boast of 2 wins. You used 4 coaches to get just 2 wins out of 8 matches. And now you're singing, oh Lord, come down and manifest your power. Leave God alone, Nigerians. It is what you sow, you reap. And that is what is happening with this World Cup qualifiers. I keep going back to that interview because at the time he came, there was a bit of hope. Yeah, a bit of hope. He started so well, went to Rwanda, beat Rwanda 2-0, came to you and couldn't beat Zimbabwe. So each time I talk about the qualifiers, because if we had gotten it right with match day 5 and 6, beat Rwanda match day 7, even draw South Africa match day 8 in Bloemfontein, we wouldn't be in this situation. And guess what? What happened to South Africa happened. They've been docked 3 points. So it was very important that I keep going back to that conversation in June with Coach Eric Schell. And that was what I did. When I asked him, are you confident that Nigeria can still qualify for the World? What else will he say? And he said, if I'm not, then I should end my contract. I should go home. I like that optimism. I like that faith. But I think how you start a qualifier, it's a marathon, is very, very important. If you're going to the AFCON or a competition, play 6 matches, you're in the final. It's as simple as that. Now, these guys, just to go through home and away series, play 10 matches, it's a problem. It's a big problem. Until match day 7, Nigeria had not even won a game at home. And you want to go to the World Cup? You see? You want to go to the World Cup. Isn't this how you feel the temperature of a team that is yearning, that is on fire, that wants to really be at the World Cup? Isn't it from the qualifiers? So it's such a shame, but I have to talk about these things, you know. I have said a long time ago that I've closed shop because it's so difficult. I mean, it's extremely difficult for Nigeria to qualify for the World Cup because now they're not just saying, oh, we want South Africa to lose. You need to hope, fast, and pray that South Africa, Benin Republic, and even Rwanda lose or drop points. And if you check that triangle, it will be very difficult. While we're busy doing that, we had to remind us with this opening that you didn't beat Lesotho in Uyo in November 2023. That was how we started our 2026 World Cup qualifying journey. A 1-1 draw against Lesotho at the time. I can't remember what they were ranked, but they were so poorly, lowly rated in the world rankings, and they held Nigeria at home. In fact, scored first. Nigeria had to come back through a defender, Semi Ajayi. So it's a sad story, you know. And I want Nigerians to understand these things so that we start holding people accountable, you know, as much as I can. If I have an opportunity, I'll keep calling these people out because it is a leadership problem, you know. And when you lack vision, and if you have leadership that doesn't know where it's going, because if you check where our football is coming, they brought Pizarro and then they just told him, go to AFCON, try and see if you could get to the final and win it. And then they launched the Let's Do It Again campaign. I'm not saying it's not good to get to the final of the competition and even win it, but what plan was in place? From Gernot Rohr, what was the transition? Because the man kept saying he wants to build, he's building, he's going somewhere. And say whatever I want to say about Gernot Rohr, his team did just enough to always qualify for competitions, go to the AFCON and even put up a good performance. So what was the transition when you were letting go of Gernot Rohr? What was it that he had done that you had said to yourself that you will consolidate upon? Nothing. These people don't plan. Look, and when you look at countries in Africa like Cape Verde, even Gambia, Comoros, you can see that they're looking at the big guys and they're seeing what they are not doing and they are doing it. And it's working for them, you know. So yeah, I needed to start that way because I wanted to understand, how did Nigeria get here? The first time you have 10 African teams. And it's so difficult because even if you take a look at the second placed teams and their table, you still struggle, even with what FIFA has done to South Africa. So why must we always hope for another person to fall before we rise? Just rise on your own. Do what you can to stay relevant, particularly when you claim you are the giant, you're the big boy of Africa. Oh, please show workings. Nigeria, show workings, you know, and let this be actually the lessons learned, because it will be back-to-back misses if Nigeria don't qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It will be back-to-back misses. So Nigeria, if you do not learn from this, then forget it. Forget it. Just only apply to go to competitions, do wuru-wuru to the answer, do your normal fire brigade approach, get to the final, go to Abuja, look for money, get national honors, and then go back again to where you stopped, you know, because if you want to make a difference, you must go through the pain, you know. It's sacrifice. You must feel it that, yes, you've done something different, you know. It's long-term planning. It's deliberate planning. It's a lot of organization. It's not just oh, because we've done it before, we just go. If you have a winning formula, oh, it's okay. Go ahead and adopt that winning formula. For the third time, the under-17, the Golden Eaglets, yes, I fault that qualification process from the WAFU B, but they won't be going to the World Cup for the third time in a row. You see, even where we used to boss, where we used to have foundation, where we could monitor progression, we're not doing well. Nigeria, think is about time, you know, think before it gets really bad. Let's go back to where the problem started. I said 16th November 2023. That was the first match they won. Opening round of World Cup qualifiers. Nigeria hosted Lesotho. It ended 1-1. And I listened to Coach Jose Pizarro. He was so clueless about the team, the objective, how they see the qualifiers, what they wanted from it. Terrible vision, poor planning. It was just all over the place. Typical Nigerian organization. And you are wondering why we got to where we are. If you miss your steps, don't keep going forward. Go back and find out how you've lost it. Particularly when you're going on a long journey. If you miss your way, if you keep going, you will end up where you don't even want to. So go back, retrace it. That's what I did with the qualifiers. And I found out some shocking things right after the match, the things Jose Pizarro talked about, coach of the Super Eagles. Listen.
Okay, I'm sad because the result, but about the performance, the other team stay in the back 90 minutes, stay there, go in the front 3 or 4 times. This team lost against Cote d'Ivoire 1-0. I know. If you receive one goal, is not easy for this team, because this team defender, and good lucky. You saw the video. Good lucky. Many goals. Go to see the opportunity you create. How many opportunity you create? Tell me, how many opportunity? A lot. Okay? Only we didn't score. Even was the central back score.
Coach, yesterday you said sometimes not the best team wins the game.
Yes. Thank you very much. Like today.
Today now, the same thing happens, and we are planning for the AFCON. Would this still be another excuse that I want to call it going into the AFCON, or maybe the World Cup game we have against Zimbabwe in the weekend?
Okay, no excuses. That's the truth. I said yesterday, sometime one team can play better, can shoot more, can do more than the opponent, and sometimes don't win. Happen, like I said yesterday.
Yeah, that was it, Coach Jose Pizarro. And at the time, it didn't make sense to me. Let me put that out. Because I was like, we've just lost the game. And one of the journalists there asked him a question, will the NFF be right to sack you now because of this? And it was like, why should they, And I don't blame the man. He wanted to keep his job. His objective was, because at the time, remember, when Jose Pizarro came, Nigeria's football was in a very dark place. And the man came with I won't lie, came with a bit of fatherly, vibes. He showed that he could be a father figure to the team. He came with a lot of inspiration, kept telling Nigerians, don't bother. But the man had an objective. He wanted to use Nigeria and the AFCON to announce himself to the world. And I think he even said it at the press conference that he was going to, I think, win the AFCON. Yeah, the first press I did. And he got to the final. It was this close, but football chose Cote d'Ivoire. So when he goes back and look at what he did with Nigeria, I don't think Jose Pizarro will be mad with himself. I did try for them, because if he comes out and talk about the problems with administration and leadership within the NFF, then we won't tell the man sorry. We'll write him a national apology letter. So sorry. So that's where we have found ourselves, a whole lot of issues. So that was the first match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier. So do you understand why we are where we are now? Does this give you an idea? Yeah, that was the very first game, and Nigeria struggled against a lowly rated, team from Lesotho. So that's it. We already know that we're getting ready for the final round of matches, and I've described it as Nigeria's final push. This is the last dance, and unfortunately, they don't have the choice of music. Whatever music the qualifiers play, Nigeria must dance to it. That's just how unfortunate their situation is, because they no longer have their destinies in their hands. That's so sad when you let another man control, where you're going to. Then he can just drop you where he wants. So it's the final push. It's Nigeria's last dance, and they can only come out, pray. As I said, hope, fast, and pray. They will be taking on Lesotho first in Polokwane in South Africa on the 10th of October, and then they will host Benin Republic. That will be a cracker, because Benin Republic will do just enough to win. By the way, they are on top of the table after what happened to South Africa. So they have momentum now. So I listened to Coach Hugo Bruce, and he's so confident that Benin Republic won't be able to beat Nigeria. So it's so at the end of the day, Nigeria might even help South Africa to qualify. That's just what it is. But let's just run through the list. Coach Eric Schell has released the 23-man list. Again, loads of questions, but you know me, I don't come and say, why did you bring this? Why did you not bring this? You are the coach, you know your players, do whatsoever you want to do with them, but do just enough to make the people happy. Get the right results. For instance, you see, they called up some people, they have now replaced them. So I'm saying, what is going on? And I've not really seen tangible reasons why they dropped those two players, but you can tell that things just happened hurriedly. And guys, remember, go back to when I condemned that provisional list in September. Do you guys see now why I condemned it? Akon Adams, that couldn't make the final list from that provisional list, suddenly is in the team now. You brought in Chidozie Awaziem. He didn't get to play match day 7 and 8. Suddenly, he's not part of the team again. You are bringing a new guy now into the team for the qualifiers. You see, if you start doing all of this analysis, it will look like you're questioning the team. That's why I said I do not do. If you say you are the coach and you've been on the job for more than 6 months, I think that's the benchmark for most companies to, tell you whether they want you or not. That's the probation period. If you've done more than 6 months, you should know your team. So don't come around and be giving me 31-man list, provisional list, and people will start asking questions when you drop people. That was why I was so pissed with Coach Eric Schell. Why are you giving us provisional list? For what? You should know this team by now. I said I charged him, be in control of your team. Don't let people tell you what to do, because at the end of the day, if you fail, it's your failure to go in your resume. And these administrators, they will look away. If they're forcing you to do things you don't want to do, Steve, it's not difficult. Say it's your way or you walk away. That's it. That's the honorable thing to do. So now you guys can now see why I faulted that provisional list, because we want to go by the provisional list. Why is this suddenly bringing Akon Adams into the team? Why are you not consistent with the guys that played match day 7 and 8? Why are you changing it now for 9 and 10? So that's the issue right there. So guys, I want you to understand that when we talk about football in Nigeria, it goes beyond, coach called this one, coach played this one, coach did not play that one. There are things that we know. We know that there are things happening internally. There are things happening behind the scenes. And we only do our job by charging the coaching to say, look, make sure people don't push you to do what you don't want to do, because it's action and consequence. And in most cases, it is the coach, because coaches are hired to be fired. So don't come and give me stories that touch when you now fail and then you start calling persons out. Be in control. That's it. Let's run quickly the squad, the 23-man list called up by Coach Eric Schell for this final push to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. October 10th, they will play Lesotho. October 14th, in Uyo, they will take on Benin Republic. They will do their part and then wait for the god of football to tell them if they will qualify or not. At the moment, as I said, the Super Eagles, they do not have their destiny in their hands. The goalkeepers is the regular guys that we know. There's Stanley Nwabali, Amas Obasoge, and Adeleye Adebayo for the goalkeepers. The defenders, there's Felix Agu, there's Bruno Onyemachi, Bright Osai Samuel, who has now been replaced with Zaidu Sanusi. And then there's also Semi Ajayi, who is making a return into the team. William Troost Ekong, Calvin Bassey, and the rave of the moment. Everyone seems to be comfortable. They like him, Benjamin Frederick. And I think he has done so well. Right from the Unity Cup, where he made his debut for the Super Eagles, I think Benjamin Fredericks has done just enough to, get a call up again. And this is the part where a lot of persons are pissed, but not me, because it doesn't concern me. My own is, you are the coach, you know what you are doing, go and do the right things. The midfielders, Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, Frank Onyeka, and Alassane Yusuf. The forwards, Simon Moses, Ademola Lookman, Tolu Aroko Dare, Victor Osimhen, Terem Murphy, Cyril Dessa, Samuel Chukwueze, Akon Adams, and I mentioned Olusegun, former youth international. What's the squad update that we have? Chris Santos Uche, Crystal Palace midfielder, has been called up to replace Cyril Dessa. So take Cyril Dessa off that first list. They have. So what is going on? Why? So you want? I don't understand. Eric Schell, you made a mistake when you were drawing up the list. You forgot that Crisanto Zuche can be important because you really don't have central midfielders in the team. Maybe I think it's just Alex Iwobi that I see there. Or you want to drop Ademola Lookman, just as we saw in one of the games. You see, when you start doing all these things, you give the vibes that I don't know my team. I'm guessing, I'm experimenting, and Nigeria's football is not in a stage of experimentation, particularly with qualifying for the World Cup. Eric Schell, you know this very well before you took this job, and now you want to start doing all of these things. People will come for you. They will come for you. It was a very difficult job to accept. And if you go back to my channel, you see the exclusive interview I had with him. And I asked him, I said, you know, this is a difficult job. At the time, I even said this job looks like it's bigger than Eric Shell. But because, of course, we didn't want Finidi George. We don't want to hear anything indigenous coach. We welcome that. We didn't even care whether he's Franco Malian or whatever. He's not Nigerian coach, so it's fine. And Eric Shaw forgot that we did not qualify for the last World Cup. And now this assignment is qualify for the World Cup and nothing else. So that's where we are. You have seen the list. The guys know their job. They need to, go out there and make sure that they win these last two games. And as I said, wait to see what will happen with the other teams. And if the God of football say, okay, maybe automatic qualification, they go. God of football say, go through the playoffs, which I see as another long thing, The 4 top teams from the second place table will go and play an intercontinental game, and only 1 will qualify. 9 will go automatically. So you see that this situation, Nigeria, Super Eagles, you must find a way. I do not know how they would do it, but they put themselves in this situation. So they must find a way to get themselves out of it. So at the moment, Nigeria is preaching optimism, confidence, faith, hope. Anything you can see, Nigerians, they can buy faith now. Whatever the price, they will buy it because they want that faith like a mustard seed. So I've been speaking to a lot of the administrators. Start first off, Shehu Diko, Chairman, National Sports Commission. I had a special interview with him and I asked him straightforward, can Nigeria still qualify for the World Cup? Listen.
It's football. There are two more games to be played. 6 points. There is a disciplinary case hanging somewhere on the leaders. So you cannot just give up like that. But to be fair and to be honest, it's out of our hands at the moment. Because we can win our next 2 games, we still not take us to the World Cup. But we have to win them first. Because the situation where we are now is somebody have to fall somewhere for you to raise, but that's football. Somebody have to lose for somebody to win.
But why Nigeria all the time?
So we see is the deficit have already been in place even before we came on board. Because even before the National Sports Commission, the first 4 games that was played, the qualifiers, don't know what happened. We were not in charge at that moment. We got only, out of 12 points, we got only 3 points on the board. So that's where the problem starts. And now you can imagine now on the next 4 games, which we are able to work together with the NFF to deliver when we are in charge, we bring in 8 points out of 12. So if we have gotten the same 8 points out of 12 in the first 4 games, by now we would have been thinking about one match to win the next match and qualify to the World Cup. So the problem is there. So we are on a rescue mission. And we have been able to galvanize the support, both from the private sector, the NFF are aligned with us, everybody doing what we have to do to see how we can rescue this delicate situation that we are. Before the last match in South Africa, the hope is if we win the game, then it still could be in our hands. But we drew the game. So technically, I would say our chances now maybe 10%, 5%. But
it's 10% there. We should close shop. No World Cup.
We can't close shop with football, but we can't give up because that's why we're in the game. We have to push and see who win our next 2 games and see where that takes us. Somebody would lose somewhere. Remember, 1994 World Cup, France have two games to play at home. Needed only a draw. They won 1 point out of 6 to qualify. They lost the 2 games and they didn't qualify. So this football is there. So you cannot give up. That's why you still have to play and fight for the points. It's not a walk in the park. Anything can happen. But yes, we have to play with the sense that the only thing we could do for ourselves is to continue to work the way we are working and win the next 2 games and then sit down and see where that takes us. And I have the hunch that I still believe there could be a chance. But let's see what happens the first win match of the next window.
You've been with football in Nigeria for quite some time. And you've been close to the Super Eagles. Now you're in charge of sports in Nigeria. What is the problem? Why is it so difficult for this current crop of Super Eagles players to give us results? Is it that they don't have the sort of welfare, the sort of support that they need?
The players are putting what they have to do. They are doing what they have to do. They just played the final of the AFCON just a year ago. plus ago, January 2024. They were in the final of the AFCON. But so these players know what is at stake. The players want to be at the World Cup more than anybody else. But at times football can be cruel. If you go back and look at even the games that we all played from the first match, Super Eagles ought to have won all the games that they have played based on the outcome of the game, the chances created and stuff like that. But the result just weren't coming. The players are more hot than anybody else on the situation where the team are. But at the end of the day, every player wants his soul wants to play at the World Cup. Even if it's just for 30 minutes, they are once play at the World Cup to do that. So the players are ready to do that. Our job is to provide the enablers, to support the NFF, to make sure that the players were able to give their best.
And have we done that? Because players complain. They talk, they say things. Are bonuses paid? Are allowances paid?
Under our watch, yes, I can tell you yes. I don't know before us. But under our watch, definitely. Since we came in, we already have, the first thing we did is to have a sit down with the NFM and the players and agree on a bonus structure for the qualifiers and told the players that if you qualify, this is what comes to you. If you do this match, this is what comes to you. So we have an agreement in place to do that, to motivate the players the right way. And we have made sure that as the National Sports Commission, for the match against Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and South Africa, what was agreed was already on the table. So there was no issue.
And after the matches, they got their money.
Absolutely. Some matches, they even got it ahead of the games. Like the game against Zimbabwe, it was paid. Like before even we played these two last games, the funding was already made available to the NFM to disburse to the players on what was agreed. So that's no issue about that. You didn't hear any player complain the last 4 matches that we are in charge, because we took it very, very serious to make sure that the players are always the priority, and we have an agreement with them what will be done, and the players love the agreement and they sign up to it. So they're all playing for that. They have something to play for.
Yeah, that was Shehu Diko. It was beyond qualifying for the World Cup. I've heard some players talk about welfare, some talk about monies being owed, monies not being paid, and all of that. And outrightly, those things distract players. So that was why I asked him. I said, wait, under our own leadership, there's nothing like that. We take care of players, we pay their wages, we pay their allowances, and that's it. Till I hear another player talk to me and say he was lying. So for now on, take it that what they are suffering are errors from the past. So the blast from the past, still dealing with Nigeria, But let's just hope that hopefully what they are saying is true, and that change has truly come to football administration in Nigeria. I love the optimism of Shehu Diko. What else can he do? What else can he say? It is what it is. If you talk to the players, same thing. I've played Cyril Dessers for you guys when I spoke with him. He's optimistic. He said, focus on your own games. Don't look at the other guys. Wilfred Ndidi told me the same thing. Frank Onyeka told me the same thing. We don't care what is happening with the other guys. We just want to win our games. And I'm saying from match day 6, if you had won your game to match day 9, you would have gotten just enough points. Get 6 from match day 6 and 7. You get another 6 from 7 and 8. That's 12 points. You won't be where you are. You will not be where you are. But you drop points against South Africa and Zimbabwe. And that is why the Super Eagles are in this situation that they are at the moment. I told you, everyone in Nigeria is speaking optimism. Everyone in Nigeria is just hopeful. They are praying. See them all the time. I believe, I'm confident that faith without work is dead. I also spoke with the Director General of the National Sports Commission. That's one 100% is an optimist. I asked them the same question. Can the Super Eagles still qualify for the World Cup? Listen. Can the Super Eagles still qualify for the World Cup?
I'm a pathological optimist. I believe the signs are still very good. And again, we are Nigerians. We persevere.
You say the signs are still very good?
Very good. We are Nigerians. We persevere. We don't give up. Until the last whistle is blown in any sporting event, you cannot conclude what the outcome will be. So, fingers crossed, I believe we'll be at the World Cup. And I hope Gen Zs are clocking that in.
Yeah, that was Bukola Olokpade. I told you, by the way, his optimism is contagious. I told you Nigerians at the moment, they are speaking with all the faith that the heavens can give. Bukola Olopade is saying it's not over until it is over. I totally agree, but it's just so difficult for Nigeria at the moment, you know, and it's a tightrope. I say this because Nigeria, the Super Eagles, they have 12 players, 12 on caution lists that mustn't pick a card against Lesotho, otherwise they will miss the game against Benin Republic. It's so tight. 12, South Africa. You see what I'm saying? It's not beef. You see, we are monitoring these things so that tomorrow, if the NFF or a member or the Super Eagles or Eric Shell's technical team say they do not know, it's unacceptable. You must know. So these are the 12 players who are on the caution list and should avoid getting a second yellow card when they play Lesotho. Otherwise, they will not be eligible to play Benin Republic, which is a very crucial game for Nigeria. Semi Ajayi was cautioned. By the way, shout out to my Egbon Kunle Solaja. Thank you for putting this together. I thought this was very important because I also had my list, but this one is very comprehensive. Semi Ajayi was cautioned in the 51st minute of Nigeria versus Lesotho. He scored in that game on the 16th of November 2023. That's what I played for you. Semi Ajayi got a yellow card. He must avoid, just in case he plays the game against Lesotho on the 10th of October. He needs to avoid getting a yellow card. Calvin Bassey is on that list. He was cautioned in the 45th minute of Zimbabwe versus Nigeria on 19th November 2023. You see how difficult this thing is for Nigeria. Jamilu Collins was cautioned in the 87th minute of Zimbabwe versus Nigeria in that same match on the 19th. But good thing is Jamilu Collins isn't part of this present call-up. Umar Sadiq was also cautioned in the 90th minute of Zimbabwe versus Nigeria. So that game was a very difficult one for Nigeria, picking cards, and it was an away fixture. Bright Osai Samuel was cautioned in the 16th minute of Nigeria versus South Africa, played on the 7th of June 2024 in Uyo. So Bright Osai Samuel mustn't get a yellow card in the game against Lesotho. Sadiq Ismaila was cautioned in the 93rd minute of Benin versus Nigeria on the 10th of June 2024. Wilfred Ndidi was cautioned in the 49th minute of Rwanda versus Nigeria on the 21st of March 2025. Alex Wobi was cautioned in the 90th minute. Just look at these times. You don't even expect a player to, get into the referee's book at such a time. But hey, it is what it is. It happened. Alex Wobi was cautioned in the 90th minute of Rwanda versus Nigeria on 21st of March 2025. Tolu Arokodare was cautioned in the 93rd minute of Rwanda versus Nigeria on the 21st of March 2025. Stanley Wabali was cautioned in the 18th minute of South Africa versus Nigeria on the 9th of September 2025. So he mustn't get another yellow, otherwise he will be missing the next game. And then Bruno Onyemachi was cautioned in the 90th minute. These late yellow cards, they're pissing me off. 90th minute of South Africa versus Nigeria on 9th of September 2025. So those are the 12 Super Eagles players who are on the caution list. So they need to be careful, very careful, because as I said, if they get booked again, then they will miss that crucial game against Benin Republic. South Africa, you see, simple data analysis. Not you coming to come and tell me that the team does not even know. Not the team for Bafana, not Hugo Bruce technical team. They do not know. SAFA, they don't know your media. No, South Africa. I will address South Africa in my next video. I need to talk about South Africa because all this will appeal. I listen to Hugo Bruce talking about some lobbying happening in the background and all of that. South Africa, take this punishment. Let it be good lessons for you to fix your football. This video is for Nigeria and the Super Eagles. So that's a good place to leave it. Nigeria, best wishes, but I've faced my front now. Wishing you guys well, hoping that you will learn from this terrible experience and change it, because until you solve a problem, it will remain a problem. I'll see you around again. That's it.